Hi guys, welcome back. Hope you're all well wherever you are. Before we get started, I would just like to say a big thank you for all the love and support for my previous videos. Today, I will be making homemade pizza for you. So we're going to make this from scratch. So we're going to make the dough ourselves. So here I've got 1 kg of self-raising flour, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of sugar, and we're going to use a teaspoon of yeast. Got some lukewarm water here, and I've got 4 tablespoons of oil. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so in the flour I'm going to add the salt and the sugar. I'm going to give this a mix. Okay, to this I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of yeast, and we're going to mix that. Okay, so in the flour, in the middle of the flour, I've just made a little hole there. Just going to put the oil in. And I'm going to put some water in. We're going to put water in a bit at a time to knead the dough. And we're just going to knead the dough now. Needs a bit more water. Just going to make the dough now. Okay, so when your dough becomes something like this, we're just going to put this on the worktop. And we're just going to knead it. We need to make sure we knead the dough for about 10 minutes to get the perfect pizza base. Okay, so once you've kneaded the dough, should look something like this. As you can see, it's not sticking onto my hands. It's nice and soft. So this is now done. So now we're just going to put it back inside the bowl. And I've just added some oil on the top of here so it doesn't get crumbly from the top. And we're going to cover this, and we're going to let this rest for about 2 hours before we start making the pizzas. I mean, you need to cover it and keep it in a warm place for it to rest. Okay, so while the dough is resting, I'm going to make my sauce. I mean, I don't use tomato puree from the shop. I make my own. So in a pan here, I've put 1 tin of tomato in, and I've just turned the heat on. To this, I'm going to add a bit of salt, a bit of red chilies, and I'm just going to give this a mix. And I'm just going to cook the tomatoes on the heat. I'm just going to mash these ones. Just try and make them into puree. I mean, I don't put them in the food processor. I like cooking it on the pan. So I mean, if you want to put them in the food processor and make it easier, you can. It's entirely up to yourself, but I like cooking them on the pan. Just going to let these cook now. So it takes about 5 to 7 minutes to make this sauce. Okay, so the tomatoes are becoming to a thick paste now. As you can see, they've reduced as well. To this, I'm going to add some mixed herbs. I'm just going to add a bit of parsley. I mean, even though the mixed herbs do have parsley in it, I just like to top it up a bit. I mean, it's entirely up to yourself if you want to put the mixed herbs in or not. If you want it just plain, you can have it, leave it as plain. So now this is done. I'm just going to take this off the heat. Okay, so now I'm just going to prepare my chicken. Okay, here I have 2 chicken breasts cut into small pieces, which I have marinated in 2 tablespoons of yogurt and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. To this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of red chilies. I mean, salt and chilies you can add according to your own taste. It depends on how spicy you want the chicken. Okay, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of haldi. I'm just going to give this a mix. Okay, so now I'm just going to let the chicken cook. I haven't added any water to it because I've added yogurt to it and the chicken leaves its own water, so hopefully it should get cooked in this water. Otherwise, if you think that the chicken is not cooked, you can add water to yours to make sure it's fully cooked. So we're just going to cook the chicken on medium heat now until it's fully cooked. Okay, so the chicken is now fully cooked. As you can see, it's fully cooked. I mean, I didn't add any water to this. I didn't need to add any water to it because it cooked in its own water and the water from the yogurt. So this is now fully cooked, but you need to make sure your chicken is fully cooked. Okay, so the dough is now ready. As you can see, it's gone double in size. It has risen. As you can see, it's nicely risen. Okay, so now we're just gonna make some round balls from the dough. Okay, so I'm just going to roll this out now. Okay, so I've just rolled this out now. So now I'm just going to put this inside the pizza tray. Okay, so I've just put this inside the pizza tray. To this, I'm just going to get a fork and I'm going to make little holes in it. Now, I mean, there's 2 ways of making pizza. Either you can just put your sauce and the toppings on and just put it inside the oven, or what I do is I put the pizza base inside the oven for about 3 minutes and then put the toppings on. So I'm just going to put this inside the oven for 3 minutes before I put the toppings on. Okay, so I've just taken the base out of the oven, and as you can see, it's gone double in size. To show you, I mean, this is not fully cooked, so it'll get fully cooked once we put the topping on and put it inside the oven again. So now we're just going to put the toppings on. Okay, for the toppings, I'm going to use some peppers. I've got red peppers, yellow peppers, green peppers. I've got onions here. Then I've got some chicken. Got some sweet corn. I've got some pineapple. And I've got the paste we made. I mean, it's entirely up to yourselves. Whatever toppings you want is your own personal preference. You can use any toppings you like. Okay, so I'm just going to add the tomato paste we made. And we're going to use some cheese as well. So now I've just put the sauce on the pizza base. To this, I'm just going to add just a little bit of cheese on the top of it. Just sprinkle a bit on the top. Okay, so I'm just going to put some peppers and onions on the top of it. Okay, so to this, I'm just going to add the chicken. Okay, to this, I'm going to add some sweet corns and pineapple. Okay, so we're going to put some cheese on the top of this now. Okay, so now I'm just going to put this inside the oven at gas mark 8 for about 15 minutes until it's cooked. Okay, so I've just cut the pizza into slices. As you can see, it's nicely cooked. The base is nice and soft. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.